Alright guys, welcome back to Hyrule Warriors. Last time I met in Hyrule Warriors, we finished up the search for Sia mission, and now we're actually continuing on with that kind of sort of thing where we're actually looking for Sia, and I just want to say, fuck this mission. Now, okay, I will say fuck this mission if it's your first playthrough and you're at a lower level, because, my god, this mission is so fucking stupid. So I guess I should get into the main gimmick of this mission because it is quite annoying to deal with. So I will spoil this now. We find Sia in this mission. Sia is actually in the Temple of Souls. Yeah, we're back at the Temple of Stalkers, by the way. And, midway through the battle, Sia's gonna appear. And our defeat condition is to make sure that Sia doesn't flee. If Sia dies, game over. You have to start over. And by the way, the gold sculpture mission is capture all the keeps. However, the thing is with Sia, throughout this entire mission, you have to defend her. Because what they kind of don't tell you is that she is at, or I think they do tell you, but basically, she's at critical levels of health the entire time. Like, she is probably like 2 or 3 good major hits away from death throughout the entire mission, and there's no way to heal her. Because this is actually one mechanic that I haven't really touched on at all throughout this Let's Play, to my recollection, which is rescuing allies. Now, you may notice that in Hyrule Warriors, throughout the game, you'll notice that there's prompts that say, like, your ally is in trouble, or your ally is in danger, or your ally is fleeing. Well, yeah, that's a thing in a mechanic. And this is kind of Fire Emblem Warrior had this, but Hyrule Warriors is really simple with it. You can heal yourself anytime you want, as long as you took damage in the first place. With the potions and bottles and stuff like that. But the thing is that you can't heal other allies through that means. Meaning that if your ally is at, like, say, halfway health, at half their health, and considered in trouble, well, you can't really do anything to heal them. Because they're not at critical levels yet. But you can't heal them with a bottle or anything like that. There's no healing with a fairy or anything like that. At least I think my fairy might have something with that. I don't remember off the top of my head because I'm not really good. I'm not really versed in the my fairy mechanic. But what I was saying is when an enemy, so when your ally is in danger, you know, you'll hear like you'll hear like the thud sound that happens when you lose a keep or something bad happens in the first place, and your ally will say they need help or something along those lines. When that happens, you can run over to that ally, and you may have noticed a green barrier or a green like little green rings around that ally. If you walk into that, you instantly heal them to full health, no matter what. It doesn't. The only exception is if, like, say they got hit they died right when you attacked them. Right when you killed the enemy. They died right when you walked into it. That happens sometimes. It's annoying, but it's like one of those things where it's not the end of the world unless it's the character you're trying to protect. The thing about Sia in this mission is that never appears. That green ring will never appear, even if, you know, she is at like the last point of her health. If she gets hit, so the second an enemy goes, the second, and I mean the literal second, an enemy goes into the. Now, luckily, Sia doesn't move around. That's a relief that I can get behind, is that she doesn't move. Yep, there she is. Yep, Sia's back. Yay, yay, even though, I mean, I still feel a little uncomfortable in this room because she saw all these portraits of me. So, this is how I approach this mission. I have everyone, at least one person, stay with Sia at all times. That is my highest recommendation throughout this mission. While I have Link go do everything else, I'm gonna have Tetra stay by Link, or Tetra stay by Sia, because then at least if something were to happen, I can just instantly switch over to Tetra and deal with the problem. Because also another thing about this mission that I hate is the fact that all the enemies you'll encounter are fucking Gibdos. That's all the officers in this mission, and I fucking hate Gibdos in this game. Like, I could deal with Gibdos in Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess and all that shit, but in this game, they're so annoying to deal with because they are the literal definition of a pace killer. Because they stop you dead in your tracks, even if you're in the air. Because you see with their range for their little freezing yell or whatever you want to call it, you know. But the thing is even if you are in the air and you happen to be in the circle of it, you still get frozen. Like, even if you are clearly like 10 feet above it, you will still get frozen by it, and it is really annoying to deal with. And it is also annoying when they just fucking spam that shit. Like, they will spam like their freezing, their yell, they'll spam their poison, their really long attack where they do the first yell and then they do 2 poison barriers and then you gotta wait for them to, you know, fucking stop so you can actually hit them. Because that's Gibdos and Redeads are just like the most annoying enemies to deal with in this game. Because they just kill the pace, and that's really all it is to me with them. Is that their attacks are not like strong or anything like that. In fact, they never really capitalize on that, to my knowledge. I don't think I've ever had an instance where they capitalize on freezing me, because I'm trying to think of a time where I've gotten hit by a Gibdo. And I mean, obviously I probably have, I just don't remember because I played I probably put in like 2,000 hours into this game, knowing me. But what I was actually thinking about this this morning, technically it is still this morning because I literally just woke up. I was thinking about this right before I started recording. Back in the Master Quest, I was doing the Master, you know, I mentioned last part that I finished the Master Quest map, and by the way, I just want to mention, right after I recorded that last part and uploaded it, I decided to go back into adventure mode because, you know, I was waiting for the video to render because it takes my computer a little bit, and I didn't want to work on Zenillion while it was rendering because it could cause it to crash, and, you know, I was waiting for it to render, and I went into adventure mode and decided to see if I could unlock all the other characters, because, you know, from what I gathered, it was pretty easy to get to the new characters. It was their weapons that were just hard to get to. I unlocked every other character now. Yeah, I officially have every character in the game except for one, which is really, I'm not going to bother unlocking that character until I, you know, finish up the rest of adventure mode and stuff like that, and it's the giant cuckoo. Because I don't feel like going through all of that Ganon's Fury right now. So I will say, not necessarily right after I finish this Let's Play. Probably in a couple weeks, I will make a really long video just showcasing every character that I haven't showed off. Maybe I'll probably just do every character because I really just can't think of any character that I haven't done. I can't really think of a character I can't really recall what characters and weapons I haven't done yet. Because, I mean, obviously there are certain characters that I have clearly done. Like, Link is a huge example. I have clearly played as Link. But, you know, I've played as Link, Zelda. I'm trying to look for the gold skull. There it is right there. One thing about this game that about this version anyway, that I've kind of been annoyed with is that there is a bit of pop-in. It's not terrible. It's not like Sonic Frontiers bad or anything like that. But it is kind of annoying to see for it to happen when you know, you're looking for the gold Skulltula and you can't find it because it's not actually in the thing. And I will also say I was cheating a little bit with adventure mode because I did have a guide Mainly for gold Skulltulas, just because I wanted to make sure I knew where the gold Skulltulas were before, excuse me. Whatchamacallit, I wanted to know where the gold Skulltulas were, just so I didn't have to, you know, I didn't have to go back into the mission twice. Technically, there are certain missions I had to play twice anyway. That is kind of the annoying thing about adventure mode, is that there are a few... the thing about gold Skulltulas is that, yeah, since there are 2 in every mission a gold Skulltula appears, there are times where you do have to play the same mission twice, no matter what, because you can't get both gold Skulltulas in one run, which is slightly annoying. Oh, by the way, this is what I was talking about. You run into that, and there you go. You heal them. Why did I go out of my way to heal them? I don't know. I just did. I don't know. There are times where I just completely just straight up ignore the rescue prompt because it doesn't matter. Unless it's, you know, the person that's in danger is the person I need to make sure is alive at all times. And that is, in this case, Sia. And yeah, by the way, I hope you enjoy seeing that those 2 prompts. The don't let Sia flee and dark forces are fighting with Sia. Because it will pop up like probably every 38 seconds, no matter what enemy goes there. Even if it's one of the small one of the small fry, that prompt will pop up. And it's pretty annoying. But again, as my general rule is, like, the second there's enemies, like, I know, like, yeah, like, it's small fry, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but you'd be surprised what these motherfuckers can do. But okay, I was talking about the Master Quest map, about Gibdos and shit. So there was, in the Master Quest map, there are Master Quest rules, which make the mission a little harder, based on based on one rule. For example, like, one was no healing, or one was no guarding. But there is one that's called don't get hit. And basically, it's pretty obvious what that is. You can't get hit, otherwise you lose basically all your health in one shot. So for those missions specifically, they have it to where there are these clock items that freeze time temporarily, or at least freeze the enemies around you a little bit. I think it was the stopwatch back in Zelda 1, and I think it's a reference to that. I might be wrong. I don't remember. I know it's a similar reference. I know it's a reference to the stopwatch from Castlevania. I can tell you that much. But the thing is to my knowledge, there wasn't a Gibdo in those missions. At least I don't remember one. I don't remember a Gibdo or Re-Dead in those missions. So they never capitalized on that. And you know what? They probably did that for a reason, because it would have been the most fucking annoying thing to ever happen to you. You're doing really good in a mission, in a don't get hit mission, and then at the very end, a fucking Gibdo freezes you and causes one of the small fry to hit you. I would have lost my shit. I almost did lose my shit to one mission, where it was a cuckoo popped up and hit me from behind, and out of context, you just hear me scream, "Fucking chickens!" But and I was also, because I was kind of doing try hard mode in that mission, because I didn't realize that in those missions specifically, you're not graded on kill count, because they just want you to beat the mission without worrying. So I was trying to kill as many enemies as I can without realizing that the A rank condition isn't with isn't with kills. Alright, so actually I decided to play as King Daphnes for like 10 seconds. And in terms of what I think of King Daphnes, I mean, I just don't think I really understand how he works, to be honest with you. I'm not saying he's bad. I mean, I don't hate him. Like, there are characters that I don't play as often because I just straight up don't understand them, I guess. And King Daphnes just happens to be one of those kind of characters. Like, I don't think I understand how he works, because there are certain things that just, there are combos that really do work for him, but it's just one of those things where it's like, he's very mid-tier, to be honest with you. He's not, like, maybe I just need to play a little bit more and experiment with him, but You know, there's again, I'm not gonna waste too much time on that, but he's fine. The one thing that is kind of annoying is hearing his ha 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 every attack. It's kind of like it's kind of annoying to hear, but besides that, he's fine. And it's not like it's the end of the world that I hear that. I mean, Tingle literally goes whoo, 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 when he runs. That's truly annoying. That's why I fuck Tingle. Then again, I just straight up hate Tingle no matter what. You know, just I know people hate Tingle for the same reasons, but you know, me, I add his running sound too because it's just. I hear the level up sound and I look down at my level thinking, man, I leveled up again. And then I remember, oh right, I recorded this like a week ago, and I am nowhere near this level anymore. Again, I don't know why. I gravitate towards Link because he's just my favorite character to play as. I know that, you know, I should be playing in a game where you can play as fucking Ganondorf, Zelda, Sheik, all them. You know, what's funny is my first playthrough. I'm talking like my original profile. When I first started Hyrule Warriors, I actually gravitated towards Sheik a lot. You know, I actually really loved playing as Sheik. Mainly because I did like her, the mechanic with the harp. You know, I liked the idea of having different, you know, elemental attacks. Though, at the time, also, I didn't understand how the elemental system works. And, that's actually a mechanic I should probably get into a little bit. Because there is I had to look up this shit. And I actually had to watch a video, recently from, I believe it's called, the channel is called Warriors Dojo, where he went really in depth about the elemental system in this game, because the thing is about the elemental system is they don't really teach you anything about it. So I guess so you may have noticed throughout the entire Let's Play that there are certain there's little element icons on the map, and it says like recommended element, and then like every character's weapon has an element next to them with a thumbs up or not based on if it's the recommended or not. So how the elements work is it's not like Pokemon at all, actually. So no enemy is weak to a particular weapon, but you're also not weak to a weapon. So for example, okay, actually no, enemies are weak to a certain weapon element. They are weak to it, but you aren't. The weapon element system is only really used to benefit you, but it will never detriment you. Unless you're just playing with an element that isn't recommended. So, for example, say that this was I believe this mission is light recommended. I didn't look. But say that this mission was since this stage was light recommended. That means that Link is doing a little bit extra damage now because I am using a light recommended element weapon instead of anything else. Lana wouldn't be doing any more or less damage than she usually does because she's playing with a water type weapon. Same with King Daphnes and Tetra. Everyone else is playing with a water weapon except me. But every enemy is weak to a particular weapon in some way. The thing is, though, is that the game doesn't really tell you what the enemies are weak to. Now, I don't remember all the weaknesses off the top of my head because there's just so many enemies in this game that it just takes forever to remember. But like, you know, there's some, you know, you can kind of guess what the enemies' weaknesses are based on, you know, Zelda lore. Like, if you fight Ganondorf, you can kind of guess that he's weak to light weapons because he's the King of Darkness, essentially. And then, like, Link is weak to dark weapons. But, like, even if, say, Link is using the spinner, Link isn't dark to... Like, if you're using the spinner as Link, you're not weak to anything. Like, it doesn't matter what weapon you're using. You're not weak to anything. You're just normal. Every enemy, like, they can't benefit from your elemental weakness, but you can benefit from their elemental weakness, which I honestly like. You know, it's a simple system, but they just never really get into it. It feels like they were trying to make it more into a major mechanic into the game, but they just never got around to it, even in the definitive or Legends version. Because, you know, I remember when this game first came out, a lot of people were under the impression that the element system was similar to the likes of Pokemon or the Persona series or something along those lines. Well, no, not really. It's just a thing. It's a mechanic that benefits you and only you and nobody else, which is, you know, it's not the end of the world. I mean, again, that just makes it easier for you to beat the mission, because even if, say, you're in a mission that's light recommended, but you're playing as someone who's a lightning element, well, guess what? You don't have to worry about the mission actively going against you for playing as someone with a different weapon recommendation. They're just saying, hey, if you want to do a little extra damage, and it's not even like a big chunk of damage. It's probably like a few, like a small bit of on a multiplier probably. I don't know the exact values again, but what was I saying? I'm trying to remember what I was saying. But the game does. Oh, the game doesn't actively, you know, put you in a disadvantage if you decide to play as someone with, like, say, like if you're playing a light recommended stage and you play as Ganondorf. The game isn't gonna say, "Oh, well, you're an idiot. We're gonna make this mission a lot harder for you." Yeah, it's gonna seem that way because, you know, maybe you're not doing as much damage, but again, it's not like you're playing as Ganondorf and then suddenly, you know, you're getting trampled because you're playing in a darkness as a darkness character in a light stage, if that makes sense. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm going after Dark Link and not Dark Sia right now, shut up. I'm doing it because experience, I guess, and also to just make things a little easier in case Dark Sia doesn't go down that as fast as I would like her to, and Dark Link starts advancing towards regular Sia. I'm trying to make sure no one advances towards Sia besides Dark Sia. That's usually, you know, again, this is also the approach I just have throughout the entire mission, is, you know, make sure someone is constantly on Sia. Well, I'm not doing a really good job of that one because no one is with Sia, but since this is towards the end of the mission, there shouldn't be any issue about enemies advancing towards her. And, you know, I may have made this mission seem easy, well, despite the fact that I hate this mission, but I will say my first playthrough of this mission was miserable. And it was because I was significantly lower leveled, so it was just kind of more... It was long, it felt. It felt like an eternity. And that's really all it was, is just, you know, this level was just an eternity. So I know I made this, you know, my little fuck this mission at the beginning of the part was a little, you know... what's the word to call, you know, oh, I love this right here. So the fact that I like the fact that the water is splashing, even though Sia, Norm, Link is actually in the water, and I'm just juggling Dark Sia right now. Unfortunately, I can't juggle Sia anymore because she's now, that little state right there actually makes her immune to knockback. And usually her AI enters that state like this. Like, if you're fighting her, the second she enters half or lower health, she enters that state regardless. And she will keep it for as long as she's alive. Which is so stupid, because in-game, when you're playing as Sia, she doesn't stay in that state for that long. Yep, I knew it. It was Ganon. King Daphnes, just touch the triforce again and tell him to fuck off. I like the fact that Link doesn't even question the fact that he's fighting another fucking version of Ganon. I would have loved it if, like, the second Sia said Phantom Ganon, Link just throws his hands up. It just drops everything. Like, oh, fuck this. It's like, I just killed one, like, 2 days ago. I mean, that's how I would have been if I was Link. I would be like, oh, god fucking damn it. Like, how many times do I have to kill this dude? It's like, thank God they never did a Breath of the Wild DLC where you have to deal with Calamity Ganon. It takes place like 2 minutes after this campaign. Link's just like, you know what, I'm out. You know what, fuck this place. I think, at this point, I think Hyrule just deserves to fall. I'm out. Flood Hyrule, I don't care. Do whatever you want. Anyway, that's actually going to do it for this part of Hyrule Warriors. The next time we meet in Hyrule Warriors, we're actually going to be ending Hyrule Warriors completely. Because we're going to be doing the final mission of the Wind Waker campaign. So see you guys next time for more Hyrule Warriors, and take care.